this album. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're all doing really well as always. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about 72 Seasons. So for those of you who know me, you all know I'm a massive Metallica fan. For those of you who don't, you can probably tell all the same. They're the band that got me into heavier music when I was younger. They got me playing guitar, all that sort of stuff. And I've pretty much loved everything they've done to date. All the controversial albums, whether it's Load, Reload, Saint Anger, I've always really enjoyed their stuff. But this album, it's just been the biggest grind and slog for me in terms of like trying to get into it. I find the songs to be a little bit too long for my liking, and that's quite an audacious statement because like if you go back to like the old stuff, you know, the songs were long. Master of Puppets is like what, like a 7-minute, 8-minute song or something like that. But I think some of the older songs sort of had enough interesting twists and turns in order to merit their length. Whereas the problem I've got with the songs on this album is I find the songs to be not only long, like I said, but that length is taken up by very sort of quote unquote stock riffs that you would probably very much expect to hear from the band, or you've pretty much sort of heard before. And it's not only that, I find each song sort of like blurs into the next, so it's really hard for me to tell the songs apart. Now thinking back to Hardwired and stuff like that, I felt that every song had its sort of its own thing, and each song just sort of stuck with me. Hardwired's not my favorite album by that band, like not by a long shot, but I found that each song really stuck with me. I'm not so sure though if that's because they made quite a big deal out of each song. Each song had its like own individual music video, and then to accompany that you had those little making of documentaries for each song, and you could see like the demoing process and the recording process and stuff like that. So I think those little videos they were putting out helped as well, and it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of just endeared me to the songs a little bit more, just like learning the thoughts process behind them. Whereas with this album, obviously coming out of lockdown and stuff, it was probably really hard for them to have a camera crew around and stuff like that. With this album, we've just had the album, bang, here's the songs, and that's it. And I find because everything is quite similar, 12 songs over 1 hour and 17 minutes, that's what the album clocks in at, it's just too much for me. It's just kind of like a grind to listen to. By the time I've got to like the 6th track on the album, sort of like pushing toward the back end, I'm like, okay, enough already. I've heard all the, you know, I've heard all the 6-5-3 riffs I could possibly want to hear by that point. However, I'm not saying I hate the album. There's some cool moments on there. I keep trying with it. I put it on in my car because it's, well, Metallica's just sort of like easy background music for me at this point that I don't have to think about if I'm driving or whatever. But I haven't actively sat down with my guitar trying to learn every single riff like I maybe would have on a previous album. The songs just didn't quite pull me in. Now, I have covered a few of these songs on the channel when the songs were first coming out. However, what I thought I'd do today is just see how much of the album has sank in with me and how much I remember of it, and see if I can differentiate song from song. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and play a riff from each song, or maybe 1 or 2 riffs, and just see how much I can remember. Like I said, I have covered a few of these, but I haven't really made a point of playing the riffs ever since, so it'll be interesting just to see what I've retained. So, okay, that being said, let's see what I can remember. Let's start off with the title track, which is the first track on the album, 72 Seasons. Now, I actually taught somebody some of this, so I think I can remember some of this, so let's give it a try. Okay, yeah, I remember that because, like I said, I've taught somebody that in my day job, so that's not a problem. You know what? I really like that riff. And those kind of riffs, the whole 5-7 thing, you know, with the low E string on top, I've always absolutely loved those because, like, my favorite riff in the world is made up of that, which is Into the Void, Black Sabbath, right? So it's a very sort of similar thing. We've seen similar sort of stuff in, like, Outlaw Torn. So anything that does that Like, I'm 100% down with it. But what I will say is it's a very sort of early introduction to what we're going to be hearing a lot of on this record, which is the 6-5-3 fret thing. And I know that kind of encompasses Metallica's sound at this point, and you know, you get to the point where it's like, how much more can you do with those frets? So I guess it's a good effort, and it's kind of like a groovy riff, but you know, upon the first listen, that's really cool, like at the front end of the album, but by the back end of the album, and it's still happening, it's like, enough already, right? So, yeah, I remember that one, that's got there. So there you go, 72 Seasons. Okay, next track, Shadows Follow. Already I'm drawing a blank. Something like that. And then wait. I've got it, because I did learn this one when it first came out. Yeah, that's it. Something like that. I think I'm right. I think I actually remember learning that one when the album dropped, because somebody asked me like about where those notes were, whether it was here or here. But again, it's more of the down, you know. So there we go. We're the second song in, and we've already got that typical sound that we're so used to hearing. So yeah, Shadows Follow. Off the top of my head, that's all I can remember of it. But as far as the rest of the song goes, like I couldn't tell you how it goes off the top of my head. So okay, so Shadows Follow. Next song, Screaming Suicide. I did do a cover of this one. It's an F sharp song, right? No? Something like that. I should remember this. I covered this. It was ages ago, though. I remember it because the song literally just dropped. And the problem is with doing the whole YouTube thing, when you do covers and you want to be, you know, if you want to be one of the first people to get a cover out. The thing is, when you're listening to the song, it kind of kills it a little bit, because you're not thinking, oh yeah, cool new song. You're thinking, right, can I cover this? Is there anything that's going to take me a long time to learn? Is there anything that's beyond my ability here so I can, you know, track it and get the cover out as fast as possible? So it kind of sucks the joy out of it a little bit. And I remember the song dropped in the evening and I was like, great, I've not got like a whole day to track it. And I'd worked all day long. And I remember like learning it and tracking it until like 1 a.m. and like getting up early the next day to film it like at 6 a.m. So yeah, I should remember some of this one. I know it's an F sharp, right? Oh, out of tune. Serves me right for tuning an E flat with 9.5 strings on. Yeah, that's probably my favorite song on the album, actually. That's right. Yeah, I think those are the riffs, or some of the riffs anyway. So, yeah, that's probably my favorite one on the record, because it's got enough twists and turns in it, to keep it interesting. Some of the riffs aren't like the most innovative thing I've ever heard, but I don't know, that song's kind of got like a Reload kind of vibe going on with it, and I really like Reload a lot. So, yeah, that's probably my favorite on the album, and that's what I recollect of it. Okay, next song, which is Sleepwalk My Life Away. Now we're getting into the guts of the album. And now we're getting into dark territory for me in my mind. Like, I can't recollect which song is which, apart from the hits. These next few songs that sit in the middle of the hits, or the singles, I should say, actually. These guys, like, I have a really hard time differentiating which is which. So let me think. Sleepwalk My Life Away. I think they've played this one live. I think there's some footage on YouTube that I've watched of them playing it on the channel, with like the music videos they put out, or live performances even. And he always starts it with like Sleepwalk My Life Away. And then does that one start with a like the bass and the drums kind of thing? Oh, it's another F sharp song, right? So yeah, that's it. Oh, I know. This is the one with the backward end with Enter Sandman riff, right? Is that it? It's very close, right? It's funny that is, because that is pretty much Sandman backwards in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not like full on backwards, but you've seen them like messing around in some of the tuning room videos, like playing the Sandman riff backwards, and I wonder how much of that sort of sparked the idea of like, what if we just start like reversing these riffs and see what comes out, and see if there's a song there. But yeah, I think that's the one, right? I like that. As a matter of fact, I know it's another that I was just complaining about with the 6/5 thing, but and to be fair, I do like this song. I think this is one of the ones that I prefer over the others, because like I love F sharp songs. It sort of modulates between E and F sharp. This song, I think, because it's got that middle section, hasn't it, where it's like. That's wrong. It's wrong again. Okay, it's either one. It's either the B flat, the G, or the A. That's it. Something like that. Something like that, I think. You know, anytime there's an F sharp riff, like, I'm always game, whether it's Metallica, Megadeth, Black Label Society, you know, I'm always down for it, whether it's like a Parade of the Dead thing or a Lords of Summer thing. So yeah, I like that. But it's unfortunate that, like, I've called that track out and I've not gone like, oh yeah, that's one of my favorites on the album. You know, like, I've had to sort of like really dig deep there and go like, hang on a minute, which one's which? Oh yeah, this is the one that's in that key. This is the one that's got that riff. Well, like on the live performance, you go like, riff beforehand and then go straight into the riff, you know? So it's kind of unfortunate they're just not sticking or gelling with me. And also what I will say is, to get to that point, that riff, which is like a high point on the album for me, I guess, you have to wade through so much to get to it, which is exactly the same with the next song that we're coming on to, which is track number 5, You Must Burn. Oh my God. I think this one is that long, even the guys forgot how to play it, because there's some sort of like YouTube footage again of them playing it, and you can see them sort of like looking at each other, and I think somebody skipped a part and there's just a little bit of like, where are we at? And then they find where they're at and they come back into it. This song got a lot of hype when it dropped. A lot of people were like, oh, it's like Sad But True, you know, because it's one of the slower ones. And I'm going to try and remember the riff now. Not by a long shot, right? Da, 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 dun, da, da. Man, I did a reel of playing some of this as well a while ago. Hang on. That's it. That's a hard riff to like maintain like the stops and stuff. And then what is it? More of that. More of those frets. I guess that's kind of a cool riff. It's unusual. Kind of reminds me of The View. Anybody remember that one off of Lulu? Just the way it sort of slides around and moves around. Completely different key though, I think, and tuning. And then this one, the thing I do remember from this one actually is the chorus, because it modulates back up to F sharp again. Then it's got this little cool thing. Which you don't really hear. Metallica do a whole lot of that kind of Van Halen kind of chord type thing. So it was cool to hear that. Kind of made for quite like an uplifting chorus, if you like. Yeah, it's okay. I to be honest with you, it's two parts that I think let the other down. I kind of find this riff I don't know, it doesn't quite hit me like Sad But True did, as a matter of fact. Well, no, still does, actually. Like, when I heard Sad But True for the first time, it was like, yeah, okay, game's changed. That's it now. I don't know, I get the idea of this. It's groovy and everything like that, but it's, I don't know, maybe it's the guitar tone. And I find that going from that really cool uplifting chorus and then back down, because it's a key change back down now into, I don't know, I just find it a bit of a slog. And I find this song to be a little bit of a slog. There's another riff buried away in the middle of it, which you have to really, be patient to get to, because when it does hit, it's a cool riff. But there's a load of which, yes, we all love Black Sabbath, right? I love Sabbath and I love doomy riffs and stuff, but come on, man. I'm not playing it properly here. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's doomy and stuff like that, but oh man, we've had so much slow, grindy riffs up to that point. So to throw another, sort of long-winded riff in like that, I don't know. It just kind of, I'm kind of watching the clock at that point. Bear in mind, guys, these are my heroes. Yeah, I have Metallica, everything to thank for. This is not a video me going, oh, they suck and they should just jack it in. I'm just talking about the way the songs are constructed here. Yeah, because obviously Metallica, they mean the world to me, right? But the riff after that, oh man, this guitar is so uncomfortable to play. Bear with me. Yeah, that's a cool riff right there, if you can play it right. But again, you've got to wade through so much if you want to get to that riff. Interesting song, You Must Burn, if I'm going to be honest with you. Very interesting song. I think if it was shortened and some of it was taken out, or maybe it was moved around a little, I think it would be a lot more interesting, at least to my ears. Okay, so next one, Lux Æterna. I think we all know this one. I covered it when it first came out, I think, being the Metallica fanboy that I am. So this one... Yeah, I don't think we were expecting such an old school vibe from the guys for a first song when it just kind of dropped out of nowhere. Cool song, 100%. But a lot of people have said this song was really not representative of what the album's all about, right? This song comes in fast, and it's kind of got that old school vibe, and there's nothing else on there that really has that, I don't think. So I don't want to say it was misleading, but yeah, it's kind of got a completely different feel to the rest of the stuff on the album. Something like that. So, Lux Æterna, what can I say about it? It's probably one of the highlights on the album, I guess. And yeah, some cool sort of Kill 'Em All sort of stuff in there. So yeah, of course I remember that from when I covered it. Okay, next song, Crown of Barbed Wire. This crown of barbed wire, and then it's got it's got more of that stuff going on in it. I think this is the It's another slow one, isn't it? It's that. Is it that one? Or is that Chasing Light? I could be wrong here. These two songs next to each other, I just can't remember which is which. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's that. And I think that's it. That's all I know of that. All I remember is like, oh, they're cool chords. Just stacking the octave in the bottom on top of your chords. It's always a good idea to make your chords like sound fatter that way. And Hetfield does it a lot, you know. But yeah, that's all I can remember of that one. That is not a standout track for me, unfortunately. So, but yeah, cool idea. So yeah, I think that's Crown of Barbed Wire. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Which brings us on to the next one, Chasing Light. And that's the one with the intro, right? There's no light. Is this the other F sharp one? I think it's that one. Something like that. I haven't invested any time into learning that, if it is, so I do apologize if it's off. Which is kind of the whole point of this, right? It hasn't sank in with me, and I couldn't tell you now, unfortunately, what happens after that riff. Like, I'm playing poorly. Oh my. And again. It's something a little bit different from Metallica, but would that be like in my top 10 riffs of all time, or Metallica riffs? Absolutely not. I just think it's... And it's an F sharp riff as well, which I love usually, but I don't know. It just falls flat for me, unfortunately. So that is Chasing Light, or what I remember of it, or at least I think what Chasing Light is. Damn, that's really unfortunate. But it's kind of making me... This is the thing about this album. I keep wanting to go back to it. I keep wanting to get it and remember these songs and enjoy these songs and cover these songs or whatever it is, you know. The desire is there, but each time I do, it's like, yeah, it's a little boring, that, or, you know, it doesn't drive me to want to pick up my guitar. Okay, next one, If Darkness Had a Son. Oh man, this is like the king of of stock riffs on the album. Again, this song is so long and drawn out. It's interesting because I thought after the initial whatever it is, when that down now 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 that lead kind of comes over the top, I thought it was going to be like a lot more morose and a lot more of a layered, like, interesting, intricate song, but oh no, it's just slowed down hardwired, isn't it, right? Is that it? Something like that. Oh man. And then the something like that. And then the chorus riff, whatever that is, I don't remember it. That's okay, but the biggest sin on this song is that bridge riff, man. Something like that, right? Oh, James. You know, the riff master. You know, king of riffs. Next to Tony Iommi, of course. I wouldn't mind, but on the album it sounds really messy. It was quite hard for me to work out what was going on, and I thought it was something a lot more cleverer than it actually is. But just... Oh no, sorry, it's a no from me. It's lazy, it's sloppy, it just doesn't resonate with me, and I hate doing this, and I hate almost coming on here and saying that about like my favorite musicians and the guys who have like fueled my musical, everything that I've done that's musical for so long now, and the guys that, you know, make me so happy when I listen to their music. But that riff is that it? That song, as a matter of fact, just cut it down, take that riff out, put something else in, and maybe it'll be a little bit more listenable. Okay, coming to the last three tracks, and by this point, the listener, or me being the listener, is like burnt out at this point, personally. So we've got 3 tracks to go. So we're on the 10th track now of a 12-track album, where most of the riffs have been those notes, yeah. But Too Far Gone, the next track, seems to recapture some of the, almost like some of like the Hardwired kind of thing, I think. I covered this one, but I don't really remember how to play it. So, it's got like the Moth into Flame sort of like thing going on with it. No, that's a different song. I know. Of course. What else would it be, right? I'm sure that's in the wrong order. Anyway, there's that one. If you want to go and see that properly, go watch my cover. But I think that's it. That song is okay. It kind of recaptures a lot of like the energy they had on Hardwired, I think. Dare I say even a little bit of Death Magnetic in there. But yeah, Too Far Gone. I thought that was going to be like a forefront single. And I kind of expected that to do better than it did. Because like, I think that song, you know, coming off the back of Lux Æterna, that song seemed to fit those 2 songs' energy a little bit more to me. But anyways, I guess not. I think there's 2 music videos for it, though, if you guys have watched those. Yeah, that's an okay song, I guess. But by this point, I'm kind of, you know, for lack of any real dynamics, like a ballad or something that was I don't know, drastically a little bit more different. At this point, my head is just pounded in by the same sound, song after song. Which brings us to the next one, which is probably one of the most difficult listens, I think, which is Room of Mirrors. And I think there's there's only like two more riffs I know off the record, so it's got to be either one of these. It's I think it's another F sharp one, right? It sounds like a Megadeth riff. Definitely not that, but you get what I'm saying, right? If you know Megadeth. But I'm playing it very messily, if that's a word. I'm making a bit of a mess of that, and I'm not sure if it is that messy, but I kind of remember a lot of that being in there. Again, with that song, it kind of lyrically reminds me of a Saint Anger song. Because it's very sort of like, I mean, the whole album is kind of like a looking inward thing, and I get that. I'll never take away from like the message that's trying to be put out on this album. You know, obviously with like the events that James went through in recent years, it's obviously going to have an impact on the lyrics and stuff. I get it. And that's the thing that kind of breaks my heart a little bit about this record, because the lyrics, there is like a massive depth to them, but I don't find the riffs reflect what's being said, and that's kind of what annoys me. So yeah, this song kind of, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of something that would have been on Saint Anger, even though it's completely different, you know, tuned up and different style of riffs and stuff, but just with the way that riff's going down, you know, that riff and the way that James is sort of like singing over the top of it, like over those verses, from what I can remember, the way he's singing those, it just kind of reminds me of a Saint Anger song. I don't know. Let me know if you guys get what I'm on about, or I'm just talking rubbish, right? So there you go. That's all I remember of that one. And then that brings us on to the last track, which is Inamorata. So we finally made it to the last track. 1 hour, 17-minute album, and we're, you know, in the last, 7-8 minutes of it now, okay? At first, I thought it was a C-sharp song. Like, that's the other thing, you know? This whole album, zero dynamics. Everything's in standard tuning, I think, right? Everything's an A440. There's no D standard songs, you know, or, wouldn't it have made sense to put You Must Burn kind of in like D standard to make it chug a little bit more? And they broke the golden rule there that Bob Rock taught them on the Black album. You know, like all your songs are in E. You know, it's going to make for a stiff listen. Even The God That Failed was taken down by a half step just to give it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more dynamics, you know. And then, so for want of no tuning variations, no ballads either, you know, no clean guitar floating around apart from the tiny bit in Inamorata that's in the middle section. At this point, I'm just like, okay, let's listen to something else now, you know. But if the song was to come on its own, I'd happily give it a listen. But I'm talking about just a front to back, sit down, listen, right? So this one, yeah, I thought this was like a C-sharp song tuning, because he's got his baritone snakebite with like the purple top on it or whatever it is. But no, it turns out it's not. He's just playing C-sharp in the key of C-sharp, if you like. It's not tuned down to a C-sharp. And this song has got its moments for sure. But there's one major thing that I really don't like. But let's see if I can play some riffs from it first. So you've got it's Black Sabbath, right? And you've got dyads. Like that. Something like that. I wish Lars would have chilled on the cymbals on this one. Right the way through is just right? Just like eventually it just starts hurting the ears a little bit. I think if he, I don't know, had done something else, it would have been easier on the ears. But yeah, that's cool. It's very different. And then you've got that really cool Black Sabbath part in the middle, which is an album highlight, I guess, which is there. Absolutely love that, and it doesn't go on for long enough. I wish that was kind of like the outro jam on that riff, because it is so Sabbath. So, you know, I can imagine even Black Label Society playing that riff. But yeah, so I love that. I think that's great. However, what I really don't like is the Lenny Kravitz riff, right? I think it's Lenny Kravitz, is it? Like, how that got through. Maybe it was played and they were like, oh yeah, that sounds like that. Let's do it anyway. I don't even know. Let me know if you guys heard it, but it's like, mate, that riff is far too recognizable to be repackaged in this song, I think. So there's that. And I think that literally is all I remember from the album. Those are the riffs. And what a ride that album is. Even just doing this video, I feel like that was a grind. So if you've made it this far into the video and you're not sick of me talking and playing terrible guitar by this point, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. So there you go. That's me trying to remember riffs from 72 Seasons, just doing a little bit of a look back on it in terms of like a retrospective almost. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more of this sort of thing, sort of looking back on albums, seeing if I remember how to play certain riffs from the songs and stuff. This has been a lot of fun for me to do. It's a little bit more loose and enjoyable rather than a sit-down guitar lesson where everything's scripted. So yeah, again, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. If you're new here, please consider hitting the like button. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. And also let me know what you guys think of the album. It's been out for a while now. When did it drop? Like April or something? Let me know if you guys still enjoy putting that record on, if you enjoy listening to it still, if it was a solid miss for you, or if you're still like me, just trying to keep trying with it, and you'll find little things in there, but by God, you'll be digging to find them, just like with the You Must Burn thing. Really cool riff, smack bang in the middle of the song, but you got to sit through like 4 minutes to get to it. I think if the album was just shortened down a little bit, maybe, I don't know, it would have been more enjoyable. But that's just, and some of the stock riffs just taken out, you know. So there you go, guys. That's the video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.